in this class, we'll discuss about what is meant by the adjective. Let us dive into this topic. Now, this topic called as adjective is one of the important topic in English grammar. So students who are preparing for competition exams, so we'll discuss about the theory and some topics related to competition examination models. So all those things we'll discuss in detail. So let us have the understanding here. Now, as per the definition point of view, what do you mean by adjective? Adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun or pronoun. Okay. So this is just a simple definition. So what is meant by adjective? Adjective is a word that describes or modifies the noun. So that's a very simple way to remember, to understand what is meant by the adjective. Now, to say this, how we are actually describing or modifying is, so let us look at that in depth here. That is, what does the adjective do? Okay, so what does it does? Okay, so what it actually do is it gives more information about the quality, size, color, shape, age, etc., feelings, etc., about a noun or a pronoun. So what does it do? It gives some details. You can, instead of saying all these things, so what we can write like this is it gives the details of a noun, whatever the noun that you are going to do. So we can give like this, the details of noun is given in the form of a adjective. So that's a very simple way to understand here. Now here let us have a example to understand the examples here, so that you will be able to understand the definition. When I'm saying she is a girl, so instead of saying straightly that, I would like to write here that is she is a girl. So when I write like this, okay, so you are not able to understand, you don't know anything about that respective girl, right? But when I say a sentence like this, that is she is a beautiful girl. So when I say that she is a beautiful girl, so the beautiful word generally what it does is it is describing about that respective person. So that person is, so now what happened is, when I plainly say that she is a girl, so you have one feeling, but when I say that she is a beautiful girl, then you have some feeling, that you have some understanding or idea or details of that respective girl, that is the details of the noun, right? So you understood that the girl is a beautiful girl, so means she is some fair girl, so she is looking good. So all those things, now you have some idea now. But instead, when you read that sentence here, that when she is a girl, so you don't have any opinion or you don't have any details, so you are not able to jump to a conclusion about what is the type of a girl, right? So the same thing like this, if you look at some other example, he has 3 dogs, okay? He has 3 dogs. So instead of this, when I write like this, he has dogs. Now you don't know how many dogs the person has, okay? So what you mean by this is the details of the noun can be described with the help of a adjective. Means now you know that he has 3 dogs, means now you know what is how many number of dogs he has. So now you have some conclusion, and you can come to you arrive to a idea that actually what are the details of that respective noun. So likewise, this adjective will help this enhancement here, okay? So what do you mean by adjective? So adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun or pronoun, and also what does it do? It gives more information about the quality, quantity, size, color, shape, age, feeling, etc. of details of the noun or pronoun. So that is the case. So this is a basic or simple definition. Now let us go to the next one. That is what are the types of the adjectives. So if you look at the types of adjectives, you have several varieties of types of adjectives. Let me give you the walkthrough of these types of adjectives. Here, first of all, the first one is called as a qualitative adjective and quantitative adjective. So the qualitative adjective is also called as a descriptive adjective. We'll discuss that everything in detail. Okay, let us look at what are the varieties here. So the next one is a numeral adjective. In the numeral adjective, you have cardinal, ordinal, indefinite, distributive adjective. Likewise, you have here that is a demonstrative adjective, interrogative adjective, possessive adjective, proper adjective. Then you have emphasizing adjective, exclamatory, then participle adjective. Then so these are the description of that respective things. So let us dive, just have a look at what are the details here. That is the types of adjectives. So we look at the first variety, that is a qualitative and quantitative. What do you mean by qualitative? The qualitative adjective is basically, it describes the quality, or it describes what is the respective kind of the adjective. Means what is the quality, or in what kind of the adjective that is there. So to understand that, let us have an example here. So example, tall, beautiful, strong, honest. Okay, so likewise I'll write like here. So Sid is a tall man. Okay, so likewise you can give some, Vamsi is a strong person. We don't have space here. Vamsi is a strong person. Yeah, anyway, likewise. Okay, so like this, you can use, you can actually have some examples. Now look at this quantitative adjective. The quantitative adjective, if you have a look at here, that is a it shows basically how much or how much total quantity of that respective thing it is there. Okay, so it shows how much of something, or which you can say that actually this quantitative, basically whenever it is uncountable nouns, so then only we use this quantitative adjective. So likewise you can have a look at here. Okay, so some water, so I need some water. Okay, and it's I don't have much time. I don't have much time for preparation. Much time for preparation of any competitive exam. So some names. Okay, just so you are how much. So when I say this sum is this describes a quantitative adjective. Okay, this is just an example here. We'll discuss in depth. Now the next one is numeral adjective. So numeral adjectives can be very varieties. So in this numeral adjectives, so what the numeral adjective does is it shows how many, or you can count in which order, in what order. So that's the meaning of a numeral adjective. So in case of this numeral adjective, so you have the categories here, that is a cardinal category, ordinal, indefinite, and distributive. So what do you mean by cardinal and what do you mean by ordinal? So what is the basic difference between this cardinal and ordinal and indefinite and distributive? That is, here if you look at here, so cardinal means the definite, you can have a definite numbers. So what do you mean by definite numbers is generally when we write the numbers in the letter form, so that is a 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay, so when you are describing, so instead of every time giving this in the numeral way, you can write these numbers in the word form. So that is called as a cardinal numbers. Okay, cardinal adjective. Now, for example, I have two persons. So I have two persons in my studio. Okay, or instead of writing I have two persons in the studio. So this is basically a right way of saying this. Now the next one is called as a ordinal adjective. Ordinal adjective is the order or it is in position. So what I mean by order in position is, for example, so I'm going to write some essay. Okay, so when I write essay, so first I am going to convey my heartfelt wishes, something. Okay, my wishes too. So something I'll explain later. Okay, so instead of writing like that, instead of saying that here it is, this is the number one. Okay, so all those things. So instead of saying in such a fashion, what you are doing is, so you are actually saying that you are representing in the form of a word here. Okay, first. So instead of not writing this one, you are writing first like this. Okay, so in such cases we will use this ordinal adjective. Okay, then next indefinite. So indefinite is basically, so not a specific in numbers, means indefinite is not a specific number. So what is meant? So many, few, several. So I'll write like this. For this is another example here, that is many people attended the meeting. Okay, so here young is captured. Many people attended the meeting in such a fashion. Okay, so then one more thing is the last one is distributive. So distributive means so it refers like one to many, many to many, or many to one. Okay, so it is basically follows this fashion. So you can say each and every person has a token. Okay, so each and every person has a token means it's a many to many. Okay? So each and every person has a token. So just try to remember that. Okay, so every person has only one leader. Every person has only one leader. Every person in this group has a leader. So this comes under this category, many to one. So many people are there. So all these people have only one leader. So we are going to refer everybody to one numeral. Okay. So many to many is likewise. So another example. Okay. So likewise, you can take some examples. And, okay, you can go through some examples and please work out. And coming to the point here, the next one is demonstrative. So demonstrative is basically, it points out which person or a thing is being referred to. So demonstrative is it refers to which person are being yeah. So that example is I can write like this. This book belongs to me. So when I'm saying that there is a book and I'm pointing out that respective book is belong to me. Okay, so if you want to give something like so demonstration and also that way, actually we use this sort of a adjectives. So this book, that book, these, those, okay, these trees, those trees, etc., etc. And here The next one is interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjectives. What is the interrogative adjective? So you know that interrogative itself is meaning itself is questioning. Interrogation means if you want to questioning something, so it's a questioning. Okay, so it's basically used in questions before a noun, where, for example, look at here, that is a which book is this, so what is the color, whose pen is this, something like whose pen is this, so something like that. So all those things generally we call as a interrogative adjective. The next one is a possessive adjective. So possessive adjective, what does it do is, so it possessive itself, the word itself has something meaning is called as a possession. That is it shows the ownership or the relation. Okay, so that is actually the meaning here. So this is, for example, you can say, so this is my letter, so this is your book, so it is his box, something like that. You can actually try some examples and all here. And so proper adjectives. So what is the proper adjective is sometimes it is formed from the proper nouns, always, which is capitalized here. Look at here. So Indian culture, American food, Carnatic music, Hindustani music, okay. So likewise we can call this, so this is called as a proper adjectives. Then we have emphasizing adjectives. So what do you mean by emphasizing adjectives? It emphasizes the noun as it modifies here. Look at here. So own, very, example here. So this is my own idea, or this is the very man I was talking about. So that is the girl. So you can write, okay, very, the very person, we can call it as the very man that I was talking about has entered the room. So likewise, you can actually, if you want to emphasize, you want to stress something. So emphasizing is basically, you can say that you want to stress something about what you are going to talk about. Okay, stress the point. Stress the point that what you are going to talk about. Okay, so that is, so we were, so most of the time, every time we say that, we want to convey, like we want to just to point out something. So that time generally what we do is we can actually use it. We want to point out about somebody, so that we can generally use called as a emphasizing adjective. So likewise, the next one is exclamatory adjective. So exclamatory adjective is basically, it expresses a strong feelings. What does it do is it expresses strong feelings, like, so what a beautiful day. Okay, so what a beautiful day. So that in such, you want to give something like expressions. So there generally you can use this exclamatory adjectives. And the last one is the last one is participle adjective. So participle adjective is it formed from the verbs. So what is formed from the verbs? The verbs is, so basically, what do you mean by a verb? Verb is a action. You can just assume that action. Okay, so there is something called as an action or feeling. Okay, so when the subject is performing some action, that we call it as a verb, or it is doing something. Okay, now this just for instance, you understand that much here, to understand this topic here. This, whenever there is a verb, if we add ed at the end or ing, then what happens is it can be converted from verb to the adjective. That is, look at here, bored child means the child is already bored, means the child is not a what you can say, is not engaging in anything, so he is already feel tired or bored, so we cannot say tired, so he is very vexed. Okay, so that we can call, so the child is bored. Okay, so this book is interesting. So whatever, so this interesting book means, what do you mean by this? The book is basically so interesting, So if you read that, so you can develop some interest, so something like that. Okay, so what you are doing is here, this participle adjective, what it does is it will take the verb, and then upon adding ed or ing at the end, then this becomes a adjective. So you can use in this fashion also to frame the adjective or to get a new adjectives. So this is one fashion here. Now look at the, well, we will discuss one by one here. So descriptive adjective, all those things in detail. So just have a first one here, that is a descriptive adjective. Descriptive adjective is also called as a qualitative adjective, or we can say, so in different textbooks name this different words. So but let us not have a confusion here. What do you mean by descriptive adjective or qualitative adjective? So the descriptive adjective is it describes the quality or kind of a person or a kind of a noun. So instead of saying a person, we can call it noun. Okay, so they describe the noun. What is they describe or explain, describe the quality or explains about the what is a kind of a noun. So that's one simple way. Example, okay, tall, beautiful, interest, so all this. Okay, so look at here, the brave soldier won the battle. Here the brave is basically the quality. So the soldier won the battle is one variety, but when you write like this, the brave soldier won the battle, means you know that the soldier is having a trait. So the soldier is very, very brave. Okay, so recently we have operated that Sindoor operation here. So that time also our people, our air defense have fought bravely. So likewise you can give that. Okay, now I will write one more thing here. For example, he is an intelligent person. Here intelligent is basically he is an intelligent person. So he is an intelligent man. So likewise. Okay, so or else she is a beautiful girl. Okay, beautiful girl. So likewise, we can, what you are doing is here you are describing the quality of that respective person. Okay, so that is called as a descriptive adjective. The next one is the qualitative adjective or quantitative adjective. The quantitative adjectives, they show how much or how many of something is described here. Okay, so for example here, some, much, little. So all these are examples: some, much, little, few, all, any, many, enough. So just to have a look at here, he drank some water. He drank some water. I ate some rice. Okay, so I have enough money. Then you can write, so she has, you can give some examples. Okay, like this you can have some examples of all these things. So some, much, little. So like this you just try some examples here. Okay, then numerals. So as we described that numerals adjectives also have several categories. In this first numeral is so those denote order, so those denote the numbers or order of the nouns, that is called as a numerals. So in that also we have definite numerals. So definite numerals in the sense it's exact numbers. So in this exact numbers also we have this point called as a cardinal and ordinal. So cardinal means 1, 2, 3 is called as a cardinal. Then ordinal means when you say that first. So for example here, somebody gives you some advice. So they have 4 or 5 advices. So first what they'll do is first you must wake up early in the morning. Then second, get ready and go for a walk. Third, come back and take a bath. Fourth, start your day. Fifth, eat everything in time. So like this. So some like this generally with the people say, right? So that actually you can, that is called as a ordinal. So that when you say that in that fashion is called as ordinals. Okay. Then one more thing also we can say, that is there is some examples here. She came first in the class. Look at here. She came first in the class. So likewise also you can actually use this ordinals. Then indefinite numerals. So indefinite numerals means you don't know how much quantity or exact quantity. That time we use indefinite numerals. So here you can see here many, several, few, some. Okay, several people attended the meeting. Several people attended the meeting. Then many don't know about this incident. So here many students don't know. Many students don't know about this. Okay. So if there is only the student comes, so many, you have used many, so many students like this. Okay, or you can call many students. Instead of writing students, you just use the word people. So that is a better way. Many people don't know about this incident. So this is the right way of writing the sentence. Okay. So likewise, then distributive numerals. So in a distributive numerals, what is the distributive numerals are? Numeral adjectives are each, every, either, neither. Okay. So there is basically again this neither, like this and all you will get into again in the picture. So here right now what you have to understand is each and every one has a copy. Okay, like so either, so whenever you're using either, so you have to use or also, but right now try to understand here. So either or, so here either of statements were true. Either of the statements were true. Okay, so neither of them were right. So like this also. Okay, so that's why it means what you are doing is you don't know that you are distributing, right? Either means both the statements. Okay, so you have taken both the statements and then both the statements were not true. Okay, were true here. So either, so we're not true, but whichever the way you want to convey. Okay, so that's why. Now sentence here, so each student must submit their homework. Look at here. So means you are actually giving for every what you are doing is you are defining or you are conveying for each and every person. Okay, so means every student you are actually pointing out, pinpointing it out, and then you are taking it. Okay, so that is called as a numeral adjective. Now the demonstrative adjective is so the demonstrative adjective is, so point out which noun is meant. Okay, so which noun is meant means, what do you mean by which noun meant is this book is mine. So you have several books, but among that book you are going to pointing it out, so a specific book, so that specific book is yours. So here instead of saying, so if you have a specific name of the book, then it becomes a noun, but you don't know that specific name, but that there are some, all the books are there here, so all the books are same, but you want to point out, among that you want to point out respect to a book, so then you can use this, the demonstrative adjective. This one word. Then interrogative adjective. So interrogative adjective is used to ask the question and followed by a noun. Look at here. which movie do you like? And so which movie do you like? You is a noun here, that is a subject. Okay, which movie do you like? Okay, so likewise, okay, what book do you read? Sorry, okay, so what book do you read? Something like this. Okay, yeah. Now when coming to the next one, that is a possessive adjectives, that is a showing possession or belonging. So here, like my, your, his, her, it, our, their, okay, all these things. So here you can write like this. One example: my bag is red. Your uncle is bad. Okay. His car is blue. Is milk. Mercedes. Okay. His car is Mercedes. Okay. It's your choice. Okay. Our team is great. Our team is good. Okay, so likewise you can just try to have some this. Okay, so this is basically we are actually giving some possession. Okay, so the adjective is basically giving what is this Mercedes car is actually belonging to this guy. Then choice means that is yours. Okay, it's not my choice. Okay, you have taken that choice, so you are solely pointing it out that this complete choice has been taken by you. Okay, so likewise, then the next topic regarding this, after the types of adjectives, you need to understand what is a position of an adjective. So why this position of adjective is important is the position of adjective actually defines, or the right placement of the adjective will actually enhance the noun, or it will give much details about the noun. So that's why we need to be very careful about where is the position of an adjective. And grammatically, as per the structure point of view, we have the position of an adjective is somewhere here. Look at here. Okay, so this is basically the structure. You can write like this. Okay, structure. So always write the adjective before the noun. Yeah, all that has been written anyway. So all you have, please remember this point. This is very, very important. Okay, this point is very important. Always write the adjective before the noun. Okay, now when you look at this before the noun here, that is so the adjectives can appear in three main positions in a sentence. So first one you can write like this. When you look at this in case of a attribute, so this is the first one is the position is attributive position, then predicative position, then postpositive position. So in case of this attributive position, so you must always have a structure here. That is the noun, the adjective must be before the noun. So for example here, she bought a red dress. So she bought a dress, and the dress is basically the red one. He is a brilliant student. He is a student, and this guy is very brilliant. They lived in a big house. They lived in a big house. Okay, so likewise, so in case of a attributive position method, so the adjective always comes before the noun. Then in case of this predicative position, the predicative position is the structure for this is subject plus linking verb plus adjective. Okay, so what do you mean by the subject plus linking verb plus adjective is I can write like this. I can use the same sentence here like this. The blue sky Okay, so but when I write the blue sky, the sentence is not a complete sentence. Okay, so I'm not able to convey the complete sentence here. The sentence is basically a predicate. Okay, the blue sky is a predicate. It's not a complete subject here. Okay, so we cannot have a complete subject here. So for that to make the sentence very complete and convey what you want to say, that's the reason why what you are doing is you can write like this: the sky is blue. Here what you have done is you are going to write the sky. Okay, this is basically the subject. Okay, this is the article, is the verb. So this verb is basically auxiliary verb. Or you can call this name as a helping verb. Okay, we can call this as a helping verb. And now you are writing the sky is blue. Okay, so this blue is basically the adjective. Okay, so that's the way generally we can actually instead of writing the sentence in the form of a predicate, okay, you can complete the sentence in the form of a clause. Okay, this is basically now the sentence is a clause now. Okay, so instead of keeping it in a form of a predicate, we can just put it in the form of a clause. So hence actually the sentence also will be complete. Okay, so that's the way actually we can say this one. Okay, so likewise, she looks tired, the soup tastes delicious. Okay, she became angry. So all these are some examples. Okay, this is in this way you explain it. So this is called as a predicative position. Okay, then here postpositive position. So postpositive position is basically means immediately after the noun. It comes immediately after the noun. Here if you look at this one, after the linking verb, this predicative position, whereas this one just before the noun. Attributive position will come just before the noun. Then predicative position predicative verb adjective in a predicative position comes after the linking verb. Then this postpositive position, it will come immediately after the noun. Okay, so what is this one? Okay, so example here, legal language. So or some example, so mostly commonly used in legal languages, set phrases. Okay, certain pronouns and all will be using. So if you look at the examples here, mostly we can be using in poems. Okay, so the president-elect will take the office soon. So the elected president, actually the sentence is here, the elected president will take the office soon. So this is actually the sentence. Okay, but instead of that, actually what we are doing is the president-elect will take the office soon. Okay, so this is just when you want to put that in a form of a postpositive position, so that's the case generally we'll be using it. Okay, then here you can see the heir apparent was crowned. Okay, so these are some examples, just to have a try some examples. Then we have discussed about the position of adjectives. Now this as also what we have done is we just have a look at different types of adjectives, right? So types of adjectives and position of adjectives. So now you will have a doubt that how to put this adjectives in which position, in which order, because I have, when I want to explain something, when I want to give the details of a noun, so how to put it. Okay, for that you need to remember this formula, or else you need to have this standard format. So this is standard format, or you can call it a standard structure. So this is a correct, grammatically correct way of putting the structure here. So what is that structure? Look at here. So here, yeah, the standard order of adjectives, or the structure we can call like this. Okay, first, whenever you are describing the adjective, you should express the opinion, then the size, then the age, then you have to go for shape, then only you have to go for color. Okay, then we go for a origin, then we go for a material, then we go for a purpose. After that only you have to explain the, okay, after that only you have to mention the noun. Okay, so this is the right format. So this is very difficult to remember. So for that, there is a very famous sentence that generally you can remember in this fashion. So what is this fashion? Is she wore a beautiful long old round red Spanish silk evening dress. Okay, so she wore a beautiful long old round red Spanish silk evening dress. So what is this one is here? I'm going to hash it out here like this. Okay, so here opinion, so this is the opinion. Okay, what is this opinion? So the opinion is she is beautiful girl. Okay, that's the opinion. This is the opinion. Okay, so opinion is she is a beautiful girl. That's the opinion. Okay, then you have size. Size is basically something long is the size. Okay, then age, old, new. Okay, so that is age. Then shape here is round. Then red, color is red. Red color. Okay, now likewise origin is a Spanish origin. Then material, is a silk material. So purpose is evening purpose, dress. And finally dress is the noun. So that's a common noun. Dress is a common noun. Okay, so likewise, okay, so you can remember this sentence for a standard order of a adjective. She wore a beautiful long old round red Spanish silk evening dress. Okay, so that's the way actually you can remember. Okay, then you have some other examples. So you can have the examples as many as possible. So it is a nice small new square black wooden tea table. So there is also you can remember in this fashion. Okay, so whichever the way you wanted, you can have it. Okay, so then one more main point here is do not use commas when you are using a more number of adjectives. So but where you can use a commas if the adjectives are in the same category. Okay, so for example here yeah unless they belong to the same category, don't use. Okay, so here look at here, he is a smart intelligent boy. Okay, so the smart and intelligent convey the same meaning, so then you can use a comma. Otherwise what say I'm going to write like this. Okay, he is tall intelligent boy, So here I cannot, because both are actually tall and intelligent, both are adjectives, but I cannot use a comma here. Okay, he is tall, intelligent boy. No, it's not comma here. Okay, he is tall, intelligent boy, like this. Okay, some UN, so they are different categories, so you cannot use this one. Okay, so tall is basically what? Tall is basically shape. Okay, intelligent is basically what? Opinion, right? So what happens here? This tall should go this side, intelligent should come here, so this is the right way of saying it. Okay, based upon the rule. Okay, he is a tall, he is intelligent, tall, he is a intelligent tall guy. He is a intelligent tall guy. So this way you have to write. Okay, so first what should come is the opinion should come, then so we are not going to mention about the size. So this size is a tall, right? Okay, size, then size will come here. Okay, so in that fashion generally we have to write. The next one is special notes on position. Yeah, okay. What is the special notes is something. Okay, so adjectives when used with something, everything, nothing, anything. Okay, so this generally also can be used as a pronouns. Okay, so generally they also comes under the category of pronouns. So there is something strange in this room. Okay, here the something strange is basically the adjective here, but that is also something is missing, means that also we can write like a pronoun. Okay, so we'll discuss that in detail when we discuss about pronouns topic. Now right now another point here is you need to remember here there are some adjectives where which use for a specific purposes, like as, dash, as, to, so, enough. Okay, what does this say is, for example here, so as many as, okay, or as much as tall as, okay, as fair as. So likewise you can use some names and all here. Okay, whichever the way we want it. Okay, here look at here, she is as tall as her brother. Okay, so here that as tall as is basically what it does is it compares that actually her brother. Okay, her brother is a very tall man, so whatever the tall man or whatever the height her brother is, the same height the girl is also there. Okay, so likewise it is too late to apologize. Okay, so too late, and the soup is hot enough. So like this also we can use. So some adjectives used with as, dash, as, and to, so, enough, these comes in between the structures. Okay, so likewise you just remember the point here, another point. Then let me summarize this position of adjective. So when if you look at the total overall point here, overall the picture here, what is a position of an adjective? So it's basically, it can be attributive, predicative, postpositive, then sometimes it comes after the pronouns, then also with the expressions also we can do that. Okay, so if it is an attribute, remember he is a smart. Okay, look at here, smart, where the smart has come, so it came before the noun, first point. Okay, then in the case of a predicate, the boy is smart means after the linking verb. So this is the verb, okay, this is the subject, then after that, so for the subject you are adding this adjective, so this is called as after the linking verb. Then postpositive, the president elect arrived. Okay, means so the elected president has arrived. So instead of that, actually what you are doing is you are after the noun, you are using the adjective. So usually where we use is here we use it for a legal use or formal use. So very formal way we express, there we use this one. Okay, then after the pronouns. Okay, so what do you mean by after the pronouns? Something strange happened. Okay, so something strange happened. Okay, so the happened is something that, so after the pronoun actually are you trying to explain this one. Okay, so that's where actually this. Okay, so it is basically a indefinite pronoun. When you use after the indefinite pronoun, so that's basically okay. So the strange is basically what you are going to express here. Okay, with expression. So it is she is too tired to walk. Look at here. She is too tired means you are going to express that what is that what you are going to convey. You are going to be more explicit, more descriptive. Okay, so that look at here. So some expressions like to, as much as, something like that. So these are the words generally you'll be using here. Then the final thing is in this adjectives, that is called as a degree of adjectives. So the degree of adjective is very, very important, and this actually basically the crux of the topic in adjective. Okay, so once you understand how to use the adjective and what is the degree of adjective, then basically you are in good to go or good to talk with English. So that's actually the meaning. Okay, so what do you mean by this good to talk? Means what is actually what I'm trying to convey is here. So what is that you want to express in the language, that is basically is enhanced in the degree of comparison in adjectives. Okay, so what is that say is basically, for example, you know a noun, you know the details, you know the noun, you know the details of the noun, but when you want to express the details of the noun, that actually is basically your actual feelings. So that feelings, how you can express is basically by using the help of a degree of comparison. Let us have a look at here. Okay, so here, look at here. The adjectives can be or we can okay, it can be a positive degree, a comparative degree, and superlative degree. What do you mean by positive, comparative, superlative? Okay, I will write like this. She is tall, or instead of this, I'll write like this. Okay, she is a beautiful girl. What I have written, she is a beautiful girl. When I write like this beautiful is the adjective, and this is the person I'm going to describe. Okay, so she is basically here the pronoun. So the pronoun is acting like a subject, and girl is the object here. Okay, so here what I'm trying to say is, I'm just simply plainly saying that the person is a beautiful girl. Okay, first point. So when I say it in very plainly that she is a beautiful girl, then it actually says that what is a degree. So the degree is a positive degree. Okay, now there is a other two categories of writing the same sentence. For example, comparative degree. So comparative degree is basically, it always used to compare between two things. How is that comparing? Is she is more beautiful than something. I'll write some name you can write here. Okay, she is more beautiful than Samantha. Okay, some name. Okay, so she is more beautiful than Samantha. So here we know that what is the second person? We know who is the first person. Okay, so we are going to take two persons and then we are comparing this. Okay, so when you are comparing with these two, you need to remember a point here. You are not only giving the adjective, you are highlighting the adjective, but also you are going to use some extra words here, more than. Okay, so these three things are important here. So what is this one is, now the adjective has become in second degree. This is a second degree adjective which is called as a comparative adjective. Okay, now what the same sentence here when I'm going to say here for the superlative degree. Okay, so the superlative degree, what we can, how we can write is she is the most beautiful girl in, we can write some okay, she is most beautiful girl on the planet. Okay, now what happened here is let me explain here. So to explain here, that is the most, so I'm using some extra words here. So I have used article here. Okay, then the most, so that is superlative of this. Okay, so that is a superlative version of this. Okay, this is adjective. Okay, that's adjective. But whatever, she is the most beautiful girl on the planet. Okay, so she is the girl on the planet. She is the most beautiful girl on the planet. She is Samantha. Okay, she is more beautiful than Samantha. She is a girl. She is a beautiful girl. Right, so you can have this now you know that actually what is the details of the noun. Okay, so what do you mean details of the noun is, now you know that the girl is very beautiful in the, so when you say a plain straight way by using an adjective, you just giving some positive note. Okay, maybe so she is a ugly girl or whatever the name you give. Okay, whatever the adjective you use, but what is the way you are going to convey is positive degree. Remember, when you are using this comparative degree, you have to compare with somebody. So look at here, I have not written she is more beautiful than anybody in the class. Okay, so she is more beautiful than planet. So then any girl on the planet, like that I have not given. Okay, I have said that whenever I am using this comparative degree, I must always compare between two people. So this is the first person, this is the second person. But look at the superlative. So when you are using a superlative, so you have to compare more than two. Okay, so when you compare more than two, what happens is she is the most beautiful girl on the planet. Means I am taking all the girls on the planet and then I am comparing with this girl, and then so the person, this person is basically a very beautiful person. So likewise you are going to, so look at the other examples here. So she is a tall. Okay, so for tall, what is the comparison? Taller. She is a taller than her brother. What is the superlative? She is the tallest girl in the class. Okay, so tall, taller, tallest. This is basically one variety. So tall, taller, tallest. Tall, taller, tallest. This is one form of an adjective. So degree of comparison of an adjective. Okay, these are three categories. Okay, sometimes there are certain words where you cannot have a comparison. Okay, that time what we have to use is we need to use most. Okay, so that is a beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. So in such a fashion we express this one. Okay, so more beautiful, most beautiful. Let me write the full sentence here. More beautiful and most beautiful. In this fashion we can express this one. Okay, so this is a degree of comparison. Now in this degree of comparison itself, so whenever the word, whichever the adjective ends with short words, so any short, so the small short words, okay, so that like tall, it becomes tall, taller. Okay, so if it ends with the y, then it becomes a IER, IEST. You need to add IER and AST. So if it is a very long word, the adjective is a very long word, then what you should do is you have to add more beautiful and most beautiful. So this is the generally the thing you have to use for a comparative and superlative. This one point. Then most of the time, most students generally confuse between the adjectives and adverbs. So what is the basic difference here? The adjective modifies the noun or pronoun, whereas the adverb basically modifies the verb, adjectives and another adverb. Okay, so look at the sentence here. She runs, she is a fast runner, means this is basically fast runner is basically adjective, whereas adverb is she runs fast, she runs fastly, means it explains that actually how the way she is running. Okay, so whereas here when you are saying that it's an adjective, means she can run fastly. She is a fast runner means she can run. Okay, she can run fastly, whereas when you say she runs fastly means she is actually doing that action. Okay, so that's the meaning of that. Okay, so please have this difference. Okay, don't confuse here. And then yeah, mostly here this is also mostly some exam driven samples here. There is a confusion between these adjectives and adverbs. As I said, he behaved bad, he behaved badly. So if you look at this sentence here, so he behaved bad is basically incorrect. He behaved badly is the right one. Why it is right one is so after the what we can say like this. Okay, so he behaved, he behaved. Okay, here the subject, which is a pronoun, have okay behaved. Okay, so this is the verb. So here verb is already happened. Okay, so now you cannot use adjective later. Okay, so that's the reason why false. Okay, he behaved badly is the right way of saying, because adverb comes after the verb. Okay, so now after the verb you cannot use an adjective. Okay, but if you had if you want to use the bad word for itself, so you have to write like the bad behavior. Okay, so you had to, so he has a bad behavior. He has bad behavior. Likewise, you can write. Okay, so you can't use that one later. Okay, and most of the time, so many students do this mistake. That is a double comparison or double superlative. There is no concept called as a double comparison. Look at here. He is more taller than me. He is the most taller. So likewise to generally people. So already you have written taller. Okay, so there is no need to write that more than. Okay, so either you have to follow this this one, okay, completely convert the word into comparative and superlative, or else use the same word, the base word as such. This is a base word, and then you have it. So you have to remember, you just go through some positive, comparative, superlative degree sheets, so which we will be providing. So or else you can search in the net also. Just try some examples so that you can practice, and then you will clear the confusion here. Next point. Then common errors generally used here is, this is a very important one. Mostly the students confuse between few, a few, and the few. Okay, why they confuse is basically most of the most people generally are non-native English speakers. Okay, so they doesn't know anything about what we can call is what is the meaning of that. Okay, so what people do is they convert their own language into the words that they know in English, and then they usually try to speak. So meaning is basically they have their language accent or their language influence in the English language. Okay, mostly the time. So even I also will have. So this is the basic problem. And because of this problem, generally what people do is they do the grammatical mistakes. So in that, one of the common grammatical mistake most people do is, that is few, a few, the few. In English, few means nothing. Almost none means, you can write like this, few means nothing. Okay, so I ate few. We can write, okay, I have same example. We can use the same example, I guess. No, we don't have example here. Okay, I have few friends. Okay, I have few friends means I don't have any friends. The sentence meaning here is I do not have any friends at all. So that's the meaning. Okay, now I'll write like this. A few. Okay, I have a few. So a few means basically it gives a positive thing, like something. Okay, there is not more term. Okay. I have small quantity. Okay, small in number, small quantity, small in number. We can write like this. Small already. Okay, small quantity or small in number. So I have a few friends. Means I have friends. Some one means you can count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like that you can count it. So, but it's not like so many people, but people are there. Okay, I have a few friends. Okay, means 4, 5 friends. Okay, so those numbers are there. Okay, so don't go about numbering and all. But I have friends. Okay, so when I say I have few friends means I don't have any friends. Okay, we can write like this. Is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Okay, so is equal to some number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Some numbers. Okay, some not a very big number, small number. Okay, now third one is this. I have the friends. So whatever the friends we have, okay, we can write I have a few friends. We can write, okay, the few friends I have. The few friends with me now. Okay, so means right now I have some friends. I'm not having, so that means whatever the leftover. Okay, so I don't want to. So previously I have so many, but right now I have some people. Okay, so whatever the leftover is there, so that people are already here. Okay, So that's the meaning of this one. Okay, so few, a few, the few. Okay, let me explain again here. Few means some, few means almost nothing, a few means something, whereas the few means all that are there. Okay, so means previously I used to have so many, but right now I don't have many, only one or two like that. Okay, so that is a few meaning. Okay, so and the next one is a much versus many. So much is for generally uncountable nouns. Okay, so much water, much so much oil, so something like that. So you cannot count something, that time you use a much. Okay, whereas many generally use it for countable. So we have many books, you have many pencils, so like this you will be using. Okay, now the next one is the same, even a few and little also generally the same thing. Little, a little, few little. Okay, little also same thing here. So little means nothing. Okay, a little means small thing. Okay, I have a little, I have we can write like that. I have little money. I have little money means I don't have any money. Okay, I have a little money. Okay, so that is some small amount I have. Okay, I have the little money means whatever the leftover is there, so that is the amount I have. Okay, so like this. Okay, and so he has a little money. Yeah, he has a little money. He has a little money. He spent the little money that he had. So likewise, okay, yes. So this is the right example. Okay, this is the right example for that. He spent the little money he had for that, for his education. So this is a right way to explain. Then participle adjectives. So in participle adjectives, so these verbs, as I said, are formed by at the end. So by using ed and ing at the end. So here, so for example here, so you can take some verb and then add ed at the end. So this becomes an adjective. Or else you can take some adjective. You can take the verb and add ing at the end, so that becomes an adjective. So this is one variety. Look at here, she is bored. Bored is basically the verb, but we have added ed at the end, so this becomes a adjective. So boring, bore is a verb, so at the end I am adding boring ing, so this becomes a adjective. She is bored, the movie is boring, something like that. Okay, then emphasizing adjective. So in case of emphasizing adjective, so whenever it is used to emphasize some certain set of things, so there we use this emphasizing adjective. Example: own, very, utter, own, very, utter, sheer, complete. So these places generally we use a emphasizing adjective. She solved the puzzle with her own effort. Okay, likewise that's a very thing I needed. So very thing I needed. Okay, she talks utter nonsense. He talks utter nonsense. Okay, so like he talks utter nonsense, and he shows his sheer talent. Okay, so likewise this is generally done. Okay, so emphasizing adjective. Then exclamatory adjective. So exclamatory generally adjectives generally used to express your feelings. Okay, especially what is that? So what an idea, what a lovely day. So like this. So such as, so there are so many things. Okay, generally not only this one exclamatory adjective. Generally most of the time my. Okay, so like this, generally if you use this one sentence, my, so that is also an exclamatory sentence. So you are actually expressing your feeling. Okay, means you are surprised. Okay, like this. Then sometimes the articles are also used as adjectives. So why articles are used as an adjective is, what is the basic meaning of an article? So the basic meaning of an article is, articles are generally generally three kinds. Definite two kinds, definite article and indefinite article. Okay, so definite article just a second. Definite article and indefinite article. Okay, so in indefinite article generally used for a and an, whereas definite article generally used for the. Okay, so indefinite article means basically it can be so many things, but you are going to address that in that respect to address one particular noun you are going to say. Okay, so both articles generally convey that there is only one. Want to say that one in number or one and only. Okay, so remember like this. Okay, definite article is basically means one and only. Okay, so there will be only one person, only one thing, like that. Okay, so we can take in some example like this: the king. King will be only one person. The queen. Okay, the king, the queen, like this. Okay, so likewise there will be only one person, so that's why we use this one. Okay, the king, the queen. Okay, so here this is called as a definite article, whereas indefinite article can be anything. Okay, in this indefinite article generally if it is starts with the vowel sound, we use an. If it starts with the consonant sound, we use a. That's the difference. Okay, but both convey that we are talking about that respective person. Okay, one in that respective number and one and only. Okay, so there is no any difference here. Okay, so here we are talking about a book. A book means one book. An apple, because it starts with a vowel sound, we are writing an apple. Then the boy. The boy means that only the boy that we are particular boy that we are talking about from the boys. Okay, so that's the reason why, because one and only the boy that we are going to talk, so we are going to pinpoint that respective thing. So that's why that's saying this. Okay, so articles are also used as an adjectives. Now let me summarize this adjectives here. That is descriptive, quantitative. Descriptive means qualitative, quantitative, numeral, demonstrative, interrogative, possessive, distributive, and participle adjectives. Here the very simple example to remember for exam, so this slide will be very useful for you. That is a descriptive adjective, you can write like this. That is a beautiful girl. Quantitative means some water. Okay, so numeral adjective is 3 books. Demonstrative is that house. Okay, interrogative, which movie. Possessive means my bag. Okay, distributive is each student. Then participle is bored child, because we have added ed here, so this becomes participle. Okay, because you have to take a verb and then add ed or ing at the end, this becomes a participle. So these are varieties. Okay, now these are some examples where generally people use, that is a few, and the few. Okay, most countable. Then little, a little, the little. Then much versus many. Then each and every. Then elder versus elder and eldest versus older and where you have to use. Then later and latter, latest and last. Then some versus any. Then yeah, so these are the minimum points you have to go through when it comes to the adjective here. That is these are special cases. Okay, so to understand that, actually when I say that few, when I use a sentence few, mostly the word is used for in a negation. Okay, hardly any means few means I don't have at all. Okay, I have few money means I do not have any money at all. Okay, few people attended the meeting means nobody attended the meeting. If a few people attended the meeting means some people attended the meeting. The few people that were there, they attended the meeting means, so we know that some people mean the few people that people are available, they attended the meeting, meaning is, so we know that some elite people or else some people who are very close to my friends, those people only attend. Means what you are going to say, the meaning here is, in front of the word few, if you do not use a or the, then the meaning entirely changes. So if you use a, then it becomes a positive sentence. If you do not use a, then this becomes completely a negative sentence. If you use article the, means you are actually saying very, very specifically something. That's the meaning of the sentence. Please remember this word adjective, okay? The adjective thing, okay? Same thing here also for little. Little means hardly. So there is a little hope left, means there is no hope at all. A little hope that is available now. So then we have to, at least a little hope is there that I will crack this examination, means that is a positive sentence, okay? So likewise, there is the little hope, all the have is, there are some UPSC examinations coming, means I will be able to crack some UPSC examinations. Some examinations are there. So not all examinations. I am actually planning 1 or 2 exams. So those examinations, I'll crack it. So likewise to say something like that. Okay, it's just or else you can use the same examples here that are available. There is a little hope left, means there is no hope at all. A little milk is left in the glass, means there is a small amount of a small milk is available there in the glass. Okay, so he used the little money he had, means the small amount that is available for him, that much amount he used. Okay, so here also same thing. If you use a, the sentence becomes positive. If you do not use anything in front of the little, it becomes negative. If you use article the in front of the little, then you are talking about specific thing. Okay, so same as something like before. Okay, few, little, also same meaning. Okay, they are like complementary. Okay, now much versus many. Okay, where we use much and where we use many. Much is basically used for uncountable nouns. So where is this one here? So there isn't it much water left. Okay, so here we don't know, we can't count the water here, so that's the reason why we use. Okay, there isn't much milk left, like, okay. So whereas this many is basically whenever there is a countable nouns are available there, okay, that time we use many. Okay, many students pass the exam, means we can actually count that respective students. Okay, in that places we generally use a many. Then each and every, where we use each and where we use every is, so each is basically used when you focus on some individuals, whereas every is generally most general or commonly just in a generalized fashion we use a every. So each refers to the individuals in a group, whereas so each student received a prize. So each student passed this examination, whereas every is basically refers to a group of a person as a whole. So every student has to apply for this examination. Okay, every student, every house was painted white. So like this. So remember this point. Each refers to the individuals. Every refers to the total group. Okay, please keep this point in mind. Likewise, then elder versus eldest and older versus oldest. And so older and oldest. Okay, here where we use the elder and where we use eldest. Okay, so elder generally and eldest generally is used people in the family. Okay, I have an elder sister. My elder sister is a doctor. Okay, like, yeah, okay, I have elder sister. So this is one example. Okay, so I am the eldest one. So I am the eldest one means I am the last person in the family. Okay, so last one person in the family. So whereas when you use this older and oldest, generally what you are doing is you are trying to compare generally. He is older than me, means you are actually comparing with the age. Okay, here also you are saying age itself, but you are not actually specifically saying who is the order. So you are actually giving the order of the people, first born, second born, like that. Okay, so that. Then later versus latter, latest versus last. So later means after some time, okay, so I'll see you later. Whereas latter meaning is LAT double T. Okay, please remember the spelling here. Here there is only one letter T, one T, here double T. Okay, so I'll see you. So I'll see you later. Okay, of Ramesh and of Rahul and Ramesh, the later is taller. Means the later is taller means Ramesh is taller. So last person. Okay, later is last. Okay, so and how you want to convey the previous person Rahul? So instead of writing like this, farmer is taller means it becomes a Rahul. So the higher the farmer is Rahul, because of this later, so this becomes a later person. Is later means the second person I am talking about. So that person is Rahul. Okay. Now latest and last. So latest means most recent, last means final in the order. Okay, so this the latest news is shocking means very recent. Okay, very recent news is shocking, whereas the last, he was the last to leave means you have already given the conclusion that which is the final. So means you have already seen, you have come to a conclusion, this person was the last person that came out. Means whatever you are going to, when you are going to convey that this is the final thing, so that is basically when you use last. But when you use latest, latest means mostly recently, means up to now whatever the information you have, that much is called as a latest. Then some versus any. Some is generally used for positive sentences. Okay, I have some money, so some tea, some also just offer. So you want to, do you want some money, do you want some you want to come and, so like this generally you want to offer. Okay, so there we use some, whereas any, okay, so any is basically negative sentence or questioning. Okay, so I actually I don't know, so I don't have any pen, do you have one? Okay, do you have any pen, do you have any book? So sometimes you want to say, so there you generally we use this. Okay, so sometimes in negation and in questioning generally we use this one. Okay, so here I don't have any money, any help you need, like this. Okay, now the last one here is a comparative, superlative, positive degree comparative. So comparative, so positive, comparative and superlative degree rules and regulations. So whenever you are using this one, right, so comparative like better, not more better. Okay, and fastest. So here don't use a double comparison. Yeah, so do not use double comparison. That's important point you have to remember. Okay, and the comparative, when you are using, use then for, okay, whereas she is taller than her sister. Okay, whereas whenever you are using superlative, compulsorily you have to use the before the superlative, because the refers to, as I said, one and only. So this is superlative means you are taking the whole quantity and then you are mentioning about only 1%. So that's the reason why you have to use the article in front of the superlative degree of an adjective. So please keep this point in mind. And here, as I said here, okay, yeah. So what is the is used for only one and only. Okay, whereas any a, this, all this is generally only one in any one of the number. So here let me summarize again the example here that I am talking about. This one here, positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. So positive degree is she is a beautiful girl. Okay, here I have not used anything, so just a said. So there are so many beautiful girls. In that beautiful girl, she is also one person. Okay, so that's a where I have used the article a. Okay, she is a beautiful girl means a is an article. Okay, so this does not convey that she is the only one person. She is one in many, one in number, one in number. Okay, there are so many beautiful girls, and then in that beautiful girls, she is also one person. Okay, so that's a plain way of saying, so she is a beautiful girl. Okay, so it means you are going to give a positive feeling there, positive definition there, but you are not conveying what the point you want to say. Okay, but when I say she is a more beautiful than Samantha, means I have taken two persons and I am comparing these two persons. So this person is more beautiful than this girl. Okay, so it means she comes first. Okay, like that's one. Okay, for that what we are doing, I have used the extra word here, so to stress the sentence, more and then I have used. Okay, so here also you can see she is taller than her brother. So here I have used then, so this is also important here. In case when you use a superlative, this is very important. She is the most beautiful girl on the planet. Okay, so I have used the here, and also look at here, she is the tallest girl in the class, means the I have used an article. Okay, article is used here, the article is used. Okay, so she is taller. Okay, so taller than is a comparative. Okay, than is generally used for a comparison. Okay, so this is the point you have to remember when you are using a degree of adjectives. Okay, so these are the things related to adjectives. So what is let me have a summary here. So what is an adjective? So adjective is a word which gives the details of a noun. So that's simple way to remember, or else you can follow the definition, right? So in these adjectives, we have position of an adjective, and also we have a comparison of an adjective. So types of adjectives, position of adjectives, and comparison of adjectives. All these three are essential to enhance the grammar, generally the way you are speaking, or else for competition exams, all those things. I hope you understood the meaning of this lecture, right? So these are the most, so if you look at any textbooks or any materials, so most of the textbooks or anything almost cover all the points that I have covered in the video. I hope you will go through the complete video, and then you will make use of the video and then prepare well for your final examinations. And I request you to subscribe, like, and follow the YouTube channel for more videos. Okay, thank you.